So guys, in today's video, we have our hands on a Subaru Sambar van. I have owned two trucks and worked on many customers' trucks in the past, but this is my first hands-on experience with a Sambar van. I gotta say, in a lot of ways, the van is cooler and better than the truck, and that's what we're gonna talk about in today's video. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So as most of you regular viewers know, I absolutely love the Subaru Sambar truck. I've owned two of them. I've done lots of videos in the past on repairs on them and just generally living in the USA with a K truck. I did one video I'll post up in the top corner about my 1 year review of living with a K truck in the USA. Absolutely love them. I'm actually still looking for that third one. It's still very hard to find a supercharged air-conditioned truck. And I would like to have a dump bed on the new one, but you know, it's not top priority right now. So if I luck up on one, I'll get another one, but until then, I'm happy to wait. Although I kind of want to get one soon because a lot of states have started cracking down on these great little vehicles because they're unsafe. Now, we can argue that all day long. This is safer, I think, than riding on a motorcycle, just out in the wind strapped on top of an engine and two wheels. But hey, what do I know? Lawmakers want to tell us everything about everything and dictate that these things are rolling death traps and we have no right to choose if we want to partake in piloting our own death trap down the road or not. But I digress. Anyway, we're here to talk about the van compared to the truck. Now, this is an immaculate version of the Sambar van. This is a 1997 special edition, which is kind of a baser model. I know being a special would sound like it's like a upper trim level, but it's kind of like the JA work model, vinyl seats, all that stuff. It does have air conditioning. It's a manual transmission, no supercharger on this truck. I believe you had to get the Dios or the higher trim levels to get the supercharger. I'm not too terribly knowledgeable about what options you could get on what trim levels, etc. for these vehicles. I just absolutely love these little vehicles. So let's talk about some of the things that the van does much better than the truck. So right off the top, one of the huge things that's an advantage in the van compared to the truck is your interior space. Now, this has a full high back seat and it is reclinable. You can also slide your seat further back in the van than in the truck because of the rear of the cab. Now, in the truck, you've got the bottom cushion and you've got a back cushion that's basically just bolted to the back wall of the cab. And for taller people, it can be kind of a scrunch down situation. Now, the van, you can actually put your seat further back. I believe that this is about as far back as I could go in the truck, which being 6'4"-ish and 220 plus pounds, you know, seems like it would be too tight, too small, not comfortable, but I could always drive them very comfortably. Had room for my knees, room to steer, room to shift. My leg would kind of flop over the shifter, but I could pull it back in while shifting when my foot was on the clutch, so it wasn't really a big deal. Really comfortable to drive. Always had great headroom, even in the standard size truck. Now, you could get one with the high roof that gave you even more headroom and actually gave you a little storage shelf up here, but I've not had any issue with headroom in the Sambars. If anything, my issue was being able to get back from the steering wheel, put a little bit of space between me and the wheel. But with the van, you get that little bit extra that you can come back, and then you can also recline your seat, where in the truck you can't because, again, you're just on the back wall of the cab. So lots more room inside the driving seat for the driver, much less for the passenger and in the back. So another great thing about the van compared to the trucks, even on the base model of the van, is the fact that on the trucks, you only get the center air conditioning vent. So you only got one AC vent each if you and a passenger are in the truck, or two for you if you're just driving alone. And on the sides here, you have block-off plates. So in the van, you have actually got functional vents. So you've got 4 vents across the front. That seems goofy. It's going to put out the same amount of cooling effect, but you've got more air being directed to you with 2 vents each. It's a little thing, but it's a great thing compared to the truck, in my opinion. It just makes it feel a little bit better than riding in the truck. Now, as far as being a passenger in this thing, again, I have miles of headroom, literally at least a foot, and I'm not crunched up, I'm not crushed in here. I am comfortable with my feet on the floor. I've got plenty of leg room. I got plenty of room to the seat in front of me. This is, again, the baser model, so it's got a vinyl bench seat. The higher end models have bucket seats here in the back, but I have plenty of room. I could put 4 of me in this van and we could all 4 sit comfortably. I mean, if I wanted to, I could sit in the middle and I could make myself take up all the room in the back of this van. Or again, I could slide all the way over and I still would have ample room to sit another me beside me. I mean, there's just tons of room in here. Great, spacious, all of that. Plenty of cargo room. So the truck is great because it is a truck. It has a truck bed and you can put things in it. But the van is just as capable as the truck. Now, as far as overall weight capacity, I believe the vans are limited at 200 kilograms, where the trucks have a 350 kilogram payload for the truck bed. But either way, as far as volume is concerned, the van knocks it out of the park. You got basically the same size footprint as the truck bed, but having a covered camper shell on it, essentially, compared to the truck. Now, really quickly, we can make this a flat floor van by, on this model, pulling this strap. This folds forward again, and now you have a flat floor, lots of area for cargo, stuff, things, whatever you want to haul about. I mean, look at this thing. There is tons of room in here. I could probably lay out and not touch head to foot between the rear gate and the driver's seat. There is plenty of room where you could throw an air mattress in here and camp out in this little van. Now, there is a floating floor right here behind the seat or underneath the seat when it's folded up. That's where your jack is. Looks like a breakdown kit, and I'm not sure what else. Let's pull my flashlight out. Looks like we've got just the breakdown kit, jack, and your tools for if you need to change a spare tire. So they are super usable and super practical for both hauling around people and for hauling around just stuff. And loading and unloading all that stuff is super convenient too. You have this massive lift gate at the back, so you got all this room. And both sides, both doors are fully opening sliding doors. So super huge access to the cargo area. You can load really big things through the side doors and through the back. Now, just like the truck, the engine and driveline are basically laid out the same way. Now, the owner of this van took the rear bumper off. He had performed some work to it before he brought it to me, so he just left it off, but he does have it. It folds down similar to how the pickup trucks does, the engine cover bumper back here, and you do still have the access cover like in the truck bed. It's just underneath the floor of the van. So you've still got all the access to work on it. I will say that the truck does have better accessibility to the engine just because of the way the truck bed is made and how the bed sides come off compared to the van. So you do have a lot more ease of access to stuff on the truck compared to the van model, but it's still very easy to work on and service compared to a lot of vehicles on the road today. So one thing that's really cool about this Sambar compared to others I have owned and others I've worked on and showed on the channel is you might notice something looks a little strange, a little different here, and that's because this is a 97 model and it has electronic fuel injection. There's no more carburetor up here to mess with, no more seals and gaskets and needles and floats and all of that junk to worry with. This has electronic fuel injection, so much simpler on the top side, much less as far as vacuum hoses and lines and cables and things going around. But that also now means that we need to find access to diagnostic scan tools that can read these little K trucks. But all in all, having electronic fuel injection is wonderful on these little trucks. No longer do you have to start them up, let them warm up, choke them, or pump the gas pedal before you start it on a cold day. None of that stuff, none of that carbureted mess anymore. You just hit the key, it fires up, it idles, it runs, it does what it should. Thanks to that electronic fuel injection, it runs much better and gets slightly better fuel economy over the old carbureted engine. So a lot less junk under the hood, so to say, and a lot more streamlined system, a lot more modern. So all in all, I think that the van has a lot of advantages over the truck. You've got more comfort, more room as a driver, and as a passenger, you can haul more than one passenger with you safely, of course, with seats and all that. And you've got a lot of storage room that is protected from the elements, unlike the pickup truck. But you are restricted in the fact that you have defined edges where the truck, you can take the beds off or fold them down if you need more cargo area. You also lose payload, only being able to hold 200 kilograms instead of 350 kilograms. But that said, all in all, I think the van has a lot of advantages over the truck and is actually becoming a more attractive option in my opinion. So again, guys, I'm not promising to go out and buy a van, but I can say that it is a lot easier to find a supercharged air-conditioned equipped van than it is a pickup. But the trucks are just still so daggum cool. But the van, I mean, we see here, it could be super useful, if not more useful than the truck. So quite the dilemma. I guess the only reasonable answer would be to buy one of each, right? So guys, now that you've seen the ins and outs of the van, what do you think is a cooler vehicle, the van or the truck? And if you were spending your money on a K vehicle or a Sambar, would you want the van or the truck variant? Let me know in the comment section below which one wins between truck versus van. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one.